Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Evan Carthy from evancarthy.com. Today, we're going to look at the upcoming week for the S&P 500, Dow Jones, and the Nasdaq. So, starting right away for the S&P 500, we are in a long setup right here, looking at the daily chart. And the reason why is you can see from this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Elliott wave move up right here. Price came down, broke the 38% fib speed resistance fan, and went down here and hit the 38% retracement. Let me just show you what that looks like right here. There's the 38 line, the orange line, 50% the green line. That's what that blue box represents right there. So once price comes down and hits that box from the move right there, then what we do is we draw the fib speed resistance fan right here from the top down here to the bottom right here. And actually, this is the second time to enter it for it. Because you see when price made the slowdown here, price did come out and break out of it right here. Let me put that on there to signify to myself that that's an entry there for it right there. So that really was the first entry right there. But it never came up and hit the top of this band or get really close to it for me to consider this to be a completed long setup for it right here. So when price came down and made another low for it right there, we moved this back down to that low right there, and then this other purple line right here is going to be the next entry for it right here. So I was going to see last week price closed above it right there, so that's another entry into it. So this week I would not be surprised if price continued its move from its lows right right here and went up and hit it somewhere. The target area we're looking for is just wherever this purple line is going to hit. So anywhere from about like 34.10 all the way up to about 34.56. So definitely moving into this next week, I am looking for eventually for the market to finish higher and for more upside for this move until it gets complete right here. After it gets complete, we'll just have to see what's going to be in store and what setups have gotten involved for it right here. If we go down here to the 1 hour chart, you can see real quick, go up there right there, go up there right there, that we actually have a five-legged move that just got completed. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. I'm just showing you how to draw it here real quick. That and that. This would have been the target area, which means that's the fifth leg for it right there. Let me change that. Okay, got it. Let me draw my levels to remind myself of it right here. All right, there we go. There's that right there. And then we draw the fib speed resistant fan down to the bottom to the top. See price broke it right there. So I signify that line with the orange line for it. And then the 38% line right here. That goes into the blue. And there's two right there. Then what we'll do is we'll draw the first 38% Fibonacci retracement line, which is going to be right there. So we did have a setup here on the hourly chart from last week. When price broke that orange line right there, that's a signal to go short, with the target being the 38% line right there at about 33.42. And then the second one we had, take this down to the bottom right there, and there is the 38% line. So there you go right there. So then price broke that blue line right there at the 38% fib speed resistant fan line. The target is the top of this 30% box, but you can see that'll happen within an hour, so there really wasn't any way to get in there unless you're looking at a smaller term one. But anyways, this what I use the hour and the daily is look for more the direction of the trend that's going up to. Since that happened, what that does from that short setup is it creates a long setup. So going from that to that right there, there's the purple line. Broke out right there, and you see it came up, hit the top of that purple line right there, and that was the end of this move, this long setup right there from that five-legged short move. So that one is complete right there from it here on the hourly chart right there. But like I said, what I'm looking for here on the daily chart, I am looking for it to continue this move higher from this daily long setup right there. This daily long 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was a short setup right there. But then once it hit 38, it created a long setup. So I am looking for price to come up and continue its move up here going into next week here for the S&P 500. And it just depends how much and how quickly it's going to move up. Where the targets could be, way up here at about 34.59. Down here to about 34.10, 34.12. So currently with price around 33.39, I am looking for move more to the upside to complete this long setup right here going into next week. Now going over here to the Dow Jones, you can see we have a similar setup that was in S&P 500, but it hasn't done some of the same things S&P 500 has. You have the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Elliott wave move right here, hit the pivot zone, the target zone box area where a lot of times you see the reversals happen, and all of that is it's the 1.46 to 1.618 Fibonacci extension levels from using the 0 point up here to the 3 point to the third point. You see there's the 0.416 right there, all the way up to the 1.618 level. So price hit that, came down, broke below the 23.6 fib speed resistance fan, hit the target area that we're looking for right there, has bounced off of it since then. So if price continues this move up and it breaks this high right here at about 29,203, then that move is done right here and we go look for some other moves. But if the price breaks out of the 38 of this blue line right here into this blue area before breaking this high at 29,173, then the target area we'd be looking for would be down around here around 24,969. But with the S&P 500 showing strength for that long setup right there, I am more bullish for this setup to actually go and make a new high than I am for it to break down into this area somewhere before it makes this new high and for that short setup to be complete. But one thing that does, it doesn't create that long setup that I use for that to that right there, because I only do it when price goes down to the all the way down to the true 38% Fibonacci retracement level. Show you just right there to right there. See, there it is right there. And then for the one, using for the 1 point right there, you can see that's where it hit right there. So that is why the Dow Jones a little bit more in flux of what's going to happen based upon how typically it moves in line with the S&P 500. I'm looking for more of the upside, and I would be more surprised if the price broke down into here and continues downtrend down than if it continues to go up and makes a new high from this previous pivot point that it had up right there. Now going over to the Nasdaq, kind of a lot going on over here. Let me just go down to the 1 hour chart here real quick. That's a little bit easier to see. So going to the 1 hour chart, we have, there's the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right up there. You can see hit the pivot zone right there and pivoted right back out of it. Let me go ahead and take off this, but let me put on the blue fib speed resistant line right here to clean it up just a little bit. So you can see price broke out of the orange line right here, went and it hit the 30%, the first one right up there. Then price, but at the same time, it actually closed below the blue line right here, which is the fib speed resistance 38% line. Sorry, get a little bit tongue-tied after repeating it. And it got some support, but then eventually came down and hit its target area that we're looking for right here at the 38% Fibonacci extension level. Let me go ahead and remove that off there, make it a little bit cleaner out there. So now that it's done that, now we're looking for a long setup for it for here in the Nasdaq. And the only way this would be invalid is if price never breaks into this purple area, and if it continues to go lower, we continue drawing it down lower to the pivot point low. But price never breaks down in there, but goes down and see the 0.012, 0 point right here. If price continues to its move down, never breaks in the purple line box, as we'd continue moving this back down for it right there, but never breaks into it, creates a new low, that would invalidate this long setup right there, and would be looking for other stuff right there. But as long as it breaks into this purple area box right in here, then that will signify that the long setup is live for it right there. So with the S&P 500 already in that long setup right there, I wouldn't be surprised if the Nasdaq here this week goes somewhere here on the hourly chart, breaks inside the purple box. Whether or not this is going to remain as the low right here, or if it goes down a little bit further, it's yet to be seen. We got to wait for the market to open here in about an hour and a half, and as the week goes on for it. But if it does break inside this purple area again before breaking this low right here, then we have a long setup, and we're looking at the top of the purple area up here to be the target area. Unfortunately, I can't give a definite long target area just because it just depends what price is going to do after it breaks into this. Is it going to just push straight up? Is it going to waffle around before hitting up, or is it going to come down and make a new low and then go back up again? It just depends. But if it does come down and make a new low, you can see how the target area continues to get wider and wider for it. So it's not necessarily a bad thing when that happens. Kind of gives you a little bit more profit potential if you wait for it to break into the purple area again to get long again in it and wait for the target to go up there and get hit. So Oh, let me, sorry about that. Let me go in here to the daily chart as well. Let me take this off. But yeah, we are looking for a long setup here in the Nasdaq. And then going up here into the daily chart right there, you can see here we have the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you see how this is that pivot zone box that I look for price to uh, have the reverse happen. But sometimes it didn't always happen. But one of the two rules you have to follow, or they claim you have to follow with the Elliott 5 move Elliott wave, is wave 3 right here cannot be the shortest wave. And you see that accomplishes that because the 1 wave right here is definitely less than the 3 wave. And then the 4th wave can't go down into the and break the, what I guess, top of that first wave right there. So both of those fit, even though you definitely have a long extension for wave 5 right there. But price came down, broke below the 23.6 fib speed resistance span, came down here and hit the target box of the 38% line. But then you can see the target box for the next 38% line down here, which is from the pivot, the 0 pivot right there, just the 0 point for it. And you have it on here at 10,226, 10,226. Price still hasn't come down and hitting this down here yet. And this actually, we are not in a short setup for the Nasdaq, because what we're waiting for is price to close below this blue diagonal line right here and go into this blue area. You can see it did go down to the blue area here in the daily chart, but it did not close down in it. So until it closes down in it, it is not a live trade. We have gotten closer to it as we had that big sell-off on Friday here in the market. But price has shown support off of this area for it right here. So as long as price does not close down here in this blue box before breaking this high right here, and the high is at 12,459 and 50 cents. So if price comes up, breaks that high, then any movement down to this blue area is invalid. We'll be looking for other trades. But if price does close in this blue area before breaking this high, then the target area we're looking for is going to be the top right here at the 38% line, which is about 10,239. So I think moving into next week, seeing that we have the long setup already in the S&P 500, we'll definitely see some strength going into next week. And then after this target is hit, we'll have to see what's going to happen here in the Dow Jones. Is it going to sell off before breaking this high up right here and continue this short setup here down to the downside? And then again, same thing down here with the Nasdaq, but with the Nasdaq looking for a long on the 1 hour chart right here. And then did we have one in the Dow Jones? No, we do not have one in the Dow Jones. It was in the S&P. Well, that one, the S&P 500 just completed for it, but we are currently do have a long setup in the S&P 500, looking for more bullishness from this move that's kind of up right here to continue, and then complete this long setup up here going into next week. So that is the preview for September 4th, 2020. Be safe out there and take care. Thanks. Bye.